podcast dedicated to the lore, legends, and myths surrounding the creatures that may lurk in your backyard. My name's Hewitt.
I'm Chris.
Hey, how you doing, man?
It's been a week. So my on my front tooth, my abscess recurred.
Ew.
So the dentist was like, you know what we're gonna do? Instead of draining it and closing it again, we're just gonna leave it open.
Huh.
So I have a hole in this front tooth in the lingual or the back of it.
That sounds painful.
It's not, actually. He even removed it without anesthetics.
Huh.
Like, he went in there, he removed the temporary filling, pulled out the galls. It's not really galls. It's like but it works like galls. It absorbs things. And then he just took the pin or the scraper and just scraped it a little bit out.
That is so wild that would not hurt.
You feel it almost... The best way I could say it, even though it's not really that accurate, the closest feeling I can think is almost like a tickly feeling.
Okay, I could get that because when I had orthodontics work done, some stuff that you would think would really, really hurt was just kind of a distant feeling. But then stuff that you're like, oh, that would never, like, oh my fucking God, stop.
The most painful thing I've ever had happen to me is on an infected tooth that I was getting a root canal.
Mm-hmm.
The anesthetics were not completely.
Ooh.
And I felt it as soon as they broke through the tooth into the dentin.
Ow.
Yeah. I kicked up, and then it was another 40 minutes of me sitting there getting anesthetics.
They're like, oh, we forgot.
We need to get a little... Well, the dentist I go to is old school, so his anesthetics take a while. I got that done, and I've been getting stuff cooked. We're entering the fun season for me, at least for cooking, because lots soup, sauces, gumbo. I did red beans and rice today. I did it
Well, you're supposed to do that on Monday, by the way.
I mean, it's hard for me to do it on Monday.
This is true, but I didn't realize that was a big thing until we started doing the podcast. Is that red beans and rice was a Monday dish because Monday was laundry day.
Well, the thing is, we'll probably have it on Monday. But I cooked it today, from dry beans with water instead of... But usually the way I do it is either a slow cooker style, or I just do it a quick way, where you just use canned beans. But this time I was like, you know what? Canned beans are a little bit more expensive. Let me go get some dried beans.
I've been there, and heading back there. Only Emily and I do love red beans and rice. Vincent does not really like rice. So he likes Spanish rice and he likes fried rice. He does not like
white rice.
He does not like regular everyday rice.
Well, the thing is, it's white rice for the most part is a filling. At least the way it's used here in the South. When you think of red beans and rice, or if you think of gumbo,
rice is meant to make it stretch. I mean, I hate to say this, okra's kind of the same way with a few dishes.
Yeah. It's meant to, you put rice on a dish as a filling and to help stretch the dish. It's not in some other cultures where rice is a central component. And
yeah, to be fair, the reason so many Louisiana dishes rely on rice is because so many of the traditional Louisiana dishes are peasant food.
Well,
they were made by the poor.
A lot of Southern food comes when people are like, why is it so fatty? Why does it look like this and that? It's it comes from peasant food.
It comes
if you think of do you think rich people would come up with biscuits and gravy?
And that gravy was made from what you cooked from something else earlier in the day or the night before.
From leftovers or something like chitlins.
It's grease. Yeah. That you use grease to bake the start of the roux for the gravy. But I mean, if you think about it, etouffee, just honest to God, the food that we are most known for, crawfish. was not eaten by rich people at first because, like,
Oh, shit, even lobster. The bigger water bugs.
yeah. What I'm just saying is, if you ever watch a crawfish come out, it comes out ass first out of a turd mound. Like, I hate that sounds extremely vulgar, but if you've ever had them in your ditch, like I get
I
every
have them in my backyard.
There's just this, like, if you're not paying attention, you're also, like, you might think, well, our tax just dropped a pile here, and then all of a sudden something comes butt first out of a hole.
Yeah,
And
I mean, it's
a rich person, a well-fed person didn't go, let me give that a shot.
Yeah, it takes living, and when I mean living, I mean struggling to come up with some of the dishes.
On that note, I really hate that I'm seeing in my FYP for our Backwoods Obscura TikTok, people talking about interesting dishes are about to come.
Oh, in terms of economic?
Yeah, talking like there's like culinary right now. Like there are people who are excited for the culinary changes that we're going to have.
Eating dandelions again and having water pie. Let's go.
So I'm just saying is like there's people who are like, oh, this is gonna like we're gonna do something like you realize necessity being the mother of invention is not always great. And this like I know that like part of your brain goes, this is all about to suck, but hey, now I get to know what snout tastes like.
I mean, on one hand, I guess it's like looking at it in a positive manner, but on the other hand, it's like not a good thing to just sit there and be like, you know, we're all going to be dirt poor, but
not going to lie, this is why I've honestly thought about going to get my hunting license.
Shit, I mean that's not the get what is it a nice big standing freezer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's what they do at work. There's like a big standing freezer. They have sausage. They have like backstrap and everything. But anyway, we're talking about like working class type folk. We're talking about struggling. How would you like to hear about a town that struggled and ultimately met its fate?
No.
I'm talking about Centralia, Pennsylvania.
Oh, I know about this place.
Yeah. I've been wanting to do a ghost town, and like I looked through some ghost towns, and I'm like, why don't I just do the popular one? I mean, we've spent like 2 years trying to avoid like stepping around like the popular stuff because we're like,
let's hit the more obscure things. Yeah. Well, the thing is that to give you an idea, like I'm learning stuff that we thought was incredibly well known and very popular is just now on several big podcasts like Graveyard Tales just did Velasca.
Really?
Just did Velasca.
We did that like a year ago, I think.
Well, we mentioned it. You mentioned it when the Axeman, like he didn't go into like super. We could do a whole episode on Velasca. What I'm saying is like listening to them and that they didn't really know. Like one of them didn't know a ton about it. And I'm like,
that's crazy.
I thought this was one of the ones. Like I thought I was the last one to know.
Yeah, but you always think that.
I do.
You always think you're the last one to know.
I do like the story about Centralia because the little bit I know is that it does inspire some video games.
Well, we're going to get into that. But Centralia, PA, established in 1866, is one of the most famous ghost towns in America as an anthracite coal mine caught fire in 1962, slowly making the town unlivable over the next few decades.
No, anthracite is one of the higher...
Yeah. Okay. So the way it was explained is that anthracite coal is about 2% away from diamond. So it is.
Like we have lignite in Louisiana, which is closer to peat, but ours is much more damp.
Yeah. So anthracite it's hard to apparently it's hard to catch fire, but it burns clean. It burns consistent. At least that's what the Appalachian coal miners were saying that I looked up.
I trust okay, burning coal, not great for the environment, but I'm going to trust someone who's dug it out of the ground more than anybody else.
Right. Yeah.
Is this actually better than other versions?
Yeah. So the whole idea of ghost towns here in America is like, it's its own story of like reckless expansion and industrialization, boom towns coming up, and then falling.
Well, also, a lot of times people, when you hear ghost towns, they think out west, like gold rush, silver mines, and stuff like that.
OK Corral. Is it? No,
Tombstone had the OK Corral.
I was thinking OK Corral, and I meant Tombstone.
But I mean, the thing is if you go through anywhere in Appalachia, there are numbers of completely abandoned towns.
That's also like that's a thing here as
well.
Yeah,
along the Mississippi River. There's one that's technically in Mississippi, but it's now on the Louisiana side of the Mississippi River because it moved. That we've seen a couple of YouTubers and stuff go to that is over near Tensall Parish. We should go give it a look.
Maybe give it a look at a distance. Be like,
no, you can actually go in the town.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
But yeah, so unlike a lot of boom towns or any town hit by disaster that kind of has to relocate if you're, in like a Fernier situation, it took decades for them to actually eventually leave Centralia after the fire started. But we're not going to start there. We're going to actually start way back in the 1700s when the land was first purchased by the natives for 500 pounds.
From the natives?
From the natives. It was purchased from the natives.
Okay, you said for a second. It was bought for the natives. This is the most gaslighting thing I've ever heard from a history book.
I mean, you could see it happening.
We bought it for the natives. These are the natives. Oh, yeah, hi, how you doing? I don't know why they're Midwestern in Pennsylvania, but...
500 pounds, which is about 100K now for pounds, like British pounds. They surveyed what was called the Reading Road, which is now much of Route 61 in Pennsylvania. And in 1793, it came into the hands of a founding father. That founding father was Robert Morris.
Mm-hmm.
I was waiting to see if you knew anything about Robert Morris.
Do you realize how many founding fathers nobody knows?
I know, but you also just will pull out knowledge out of your head.
Was Morris the one that got a reference in frickin' what was it, National Treasure?
I don't think so. I don't remember.
No, that was Carroll. That was Carroll.
Yeah. But he wouldn't have the land for long, as 5 years later, he'd go bankrupt during the panic of 1796 and 1797, when a financial bubble burst over land speculation. So Robert Morris was one of the wealthier founding fathers, probably one of the people that helped pay for the war, essentially.
Yeah.
But he overbought land. And he bought it all on credit.
Oh.
And in 1796 and 1797, all that, I think it was some war that was happening around that time in Europe. There was European wars.
That would be the French. That's around the time of the French Revolution and the beginning of the Napoleonic Wars.
Okay, yeah. So what his idea was, I'm going to buy all this land, and eventually it's going to be more valuable, and I can sell it. That didn't happen. So what happened is...
Because they overbought on credit, and then we had a panic, which is what we used to call recessions.
Yeah.
So a recession hit, and the bank called its money, and he didn't have it.
Yeah, and he lost all that land, and he went to debtor's prison for 3 years.
Man, that is like highs and lows for that guy, isn't it?
I mean, he was one of the funders of the Revolutionary War, and then he died penniless.
Okay, now I'm going to say this. Understand something about a lot of the founding fathers, much like billionaires today, like using George Washington as an example, a lot of the Southern aristocracy, the Southern planters of that time were... The reason they were worth so much is because their land was valued at so much and they could live off loans. Yeah. And as long as they paid back the interest, the bank's like, this is a steady, like much today, like how billionaires get out of paying taxes because technically they don't have an income.
Yeah.
A lot of our founding fathers did that, and it's really weird to find out shitty practices today go back to day one.
But yeah, so time moves on, and the land would change hands a few times until it was purchased by the Locust Mountain Coal and Iron Company in 1842.
I don't like the name of that company.
Kind of fitting, isn't it? It's going to get more fitting.
Is it locust with a T or locust with an S?
Locust.
Like the insect.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, that's a plague.
And by that point, there were a small settlement there named Bull's Head, named after the Bull's Head Tavern, which may or may not have been legally set up in the area. So this guy just set up a tavern in the middle of there. He's like, yeah, there's all this coal mining happening in this area, not just in Centralia. But he was like...
It's weird to think parts of Pennsylvania used to be the Wild West for the United States. Like, what happened? No, there's a pub. Did he get a license?
No.
Then we need to shut it down. No.
Well, here's the funny thing. When they went in there, Alexander Ray, the guy that worked for the mining company.
Mm-hmm.
So Alexander Ray, a mining engineer and executive with the company, would absorb the settlement into his plans of starting a new mining town. So he saw that. He was like, you know what? They're already here. They're already established. I might as well just bring you in. Hey, how do you feel about company towns?
I fucking hate those.
Well, we're kind of going to go into that.
I fucking hate those to no end.
He would try to name the town Centerville because he wanted it to be the center of the mining center. He wanted the mining center to be around this town, but there was already a Pennsylvania town called Centerville, so he settled on Centralia.
That, you know what? That sounds almost like, ooh, copyright this idea. We make a platformer that's a horror, like Castlevania, Metrovania kind of thing.
That's under Centralia?
That is just you going through the fire mines.
I'm sure there were some people that felt like that. We will get into that. So,
bum ba bum.
You hit a toxic gas fume. Fall down dead.
You died.
It does the Dark Souls. You died. Anyway, where was I? So they settled with Centralia. The town would be incorporated in 1866 with Ray as its founder, and by that time it was already a functioning town with a mine and nearly 1,300 people.
Okay, that's actually impressive for the time period.
Yeah. I mean, this town was never that big. I think at its peak it didn't even hit like 3,000, but
you said 1,300, not 13,000.
Yeah, 13,000.
My brain went 13,000 for a second.
But like for a small town in like that area, that's
popping up quick.
But yeah, again, we're going into company town territories, like many 1800s American towns. Centralia had some conflict, much of which was between the mining company and an Irish group called the Molly Maguires.
Oh, the Molly Maguires.
Yeah.
They got a bad rap.
Who often fought against company towns like Centralia at the time to pay their workers, who paid their workers poorly, made them work in bad conditions, have poor living standards.
They also, fun fact, some of the Appalachian coal towns had turrets around them, like pillboxes that were manned by the Pinkertons or other private security forces. That meant literally so that like groups like the Molly Maguires that were quote unquote violent would not act up because, 100 feet up the hill, there's a cement pillbox with a Maxim machine gun in it aimed down at you. They're like, it's not a prison slave camp. It's totally not a prison slave camp.
Yeah.
Then why is there barbed wire and a gun? For your safety?
So I didn't see too much about how the working conditions were in Centralia, but considering that the Bull's Head was like a center place for the Molly Maguires in the area, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it wasn't great for them.
Mining conditions in the 1800s were really bad.
Right. I mean, I assume so. It's like one of those things, though, where you have to think of like the context of the area and a gradient scale.
If you couldn't, like, even if you didn't find information specifically about this, the general treatment of miners in the late 1800s
Was shit. Yeah.
was shit and uniform across the whole thing, because it's like, you boys need to be happy that I gave you a job even working and digging in this hole.
Yeah. And a lot of the things in the town, like the St. Ignatius Church, the Catholic church that was in the town, was the land was given by the mining company. The mining company pretty much
owned everything. Keynote company town.
Yeah. I don't know if they did the scripts or anything.
They probably did, but like the other big thing to remember about this with mining, especially before 1900, like 1/3 of miners, and I might have to go back and double check my numbers, but like around 1/3 of the miners were under the age of 16.
I can believe that.
Like the reason they wanted kids is they could follow smaller veins of coal.
Yeah, and the bones weren't worked so hard. Anyway, so it would only be a few years later that Alexander Ray was robbed and killed by the Molly Maguires, aiming to acquire the payroll for the town. They didn't get the payroll, but they did murder Alexander Ray.
Then you should have just fucking paid them.
Yeah. The Pinkertons would hunt down the remaining men. I think only 3 of the... I think it was like 5 of the 10 men. 10 years later. Took them 10 years to find...
Oh, no, the Pinkertons weren't anything to fuck with. Like, they...
Yeah. So, and those men ended up being hung. Violent activity from the Molly Maguires that also plagued the town. With arsons, vandalism, and even a murder of the first priest in town.
Now, I will throw this out there with knowledge of Molly Maguires. There's a lot of information on them that is not actually true. There are several times that Pinkertons did something heinous and then turned around and blamed... They did a
lot of false flags. Yeah,
there's a whole lot of let's blame the unions. Obviously, it was this because they said they saw a drunk Irishman do it. That
was another thing. There's a lot of stuff I saw in this where it's like, wow, I am like reading through like old school anti-Irish sentiment. Like you hear about it, sometimes you see it in movies, but actually reading like anti-Irish sentiment.
Well, this is why Enoch's has framed in its place is a copy of a newspaper that said Irish need not apply. That's almost like a standard thing for an American Irish pub now, is to have like a replica of that up somewhere in there, because the number of jobs from like the 1840s until like the late 1800s that said Irish need not apply, until they found a group they hated more, being the Chinese and Eastern Europeans.
Despite this, the town would prosper and grow to its peak in 1890 to 2,800 people, with 5 hotels, 27 salons, 2 theaters, a bank, a post office.
Salons or saloons?
Saloons, my bad.
Because damn, they like their hair too.
You know what?
These miners. It was like it's like Zoolander.
Took care of themselves.
It's like the movie Zoolander, where his dad looked like him, and all the miners had fabulous hair.
But yeah, 27 saloons, 2 theaters, a bank, a post office, 14 grocery stores, 2 railroad stations, and up to 14 mines in the surrounding Centralia area.
That's a lot of mines for 2,800 people.
There was a lot of other towns around.
Okay.
I should note, like, I didn't write it on here, but there were like other towns, and there was a sister town. I forget I think it's called literally Burnsville, which is also a town that got affected by this fire.
Well, I mean, if it's like sister cities, like across rivers from each other, so like.
Well, it wasn't across. Okay, maybe Sister City is. It was a municipality that was so close.
Oh, okay. So it'd be like us and Swartz.
Yeah, and like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, going through the 1900s, it would shrink and calm down, and by the 1960s, it was a typical small American town. Though this is where it gets
a little fucky.
This is where it gets bad. So in 1962, the Pennsylvania law required them to shut down unregulated landfills and follow new standards for trash dumping.
A good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing generally. The town made an old mine the location of the new landfill, as it was.
That's a bad thing.
That's a bad thing. As was the practice at the time, the Centralia Fire Department would conduct a controlled burn annually, usually around, I think, not Labor Day, Memorial Day.
Okay, for us, we got 2 landfills just outside of town,
right?
Which means one of them is a ongoing trash fire that I hate to say it that way. That's been going on for 10 years because there's a chemical burn 50 feet into the mound.
Right.
And the reason we permanently have a fire department out there is that they are keeping everything else
from burning.
And but they use that chemical fire to also produce gas output, which is why when you're going down I-20 at the landfill, you see like that flame that's always going.
Yeah.
That's the pressure valve that they got going there because they do harvest the gas as it decays because it's a lower grade natural gas that can be used for certain things.
We are so wacky, man.
Dude, I'm going to say waste not, want not, but at the same time, I know who's working those, and it's like, please get someone better.
So the first time they would set a fire in this new dump site, the fire department would go out there, do that, put out the fire. A couple of days later, someone noticed the fire was back. Couple of days later after they put it out again, fire was back. A week later, fire was back.
This sounds like when a battery goes.
What?
Okay, not shitting on EVs here, but like the lithium battery cells that they put inside of them. Learned this from Top Gear, or I should say the Grand Tour, when Hammond crashed a $1 million EV sports car, that you can put out the first, like the fire will start in the first cell of the battery and you can put it out. But the other 28 are going to ignite and catch fire, so you have to watch it.
Just go. Well, that lithium-ion batteries are notorious. Like once they become the danger pillow,
they're going to go.
It's not necessarily like. I mean, I guess you can handle an inflated battery with care to where it doesn't explode, but you don't want it in your pocket. So yeah. They would go back to the landfill and decide, okay, we're gonna get a crew in here. We're gonna cycle the trash so we can get deep down, and that's when they figured out their problem, which is there was a hole
in the landfill
that led into the coal seams.
So there was a hole.
There was a hole that led
in the bottom of the landfill.
There's a hole in the bottom of the landfill that led into the coal seams, which have now ignited. But this didn't immediately run people out of town. I think at the time they were like,
it'll burn itself out.
It'll either burn itself out or we can fix this. This will be easy.
It's not that bad. Kill the oxygen. Get all the oxygen out.
Yeah. So they wanted to save the town and stop the fire. So they had a town hall about it, and they contacted the state of Pennsylvania to get some help on it.
Can you imagine being the governor and you've done like some bullshit stuff, like you kissed some babies and you signed off on like what is going to be a very popular thing. Then all of a sudden someone comes in, hey, Centralia has a fire that is underneath the whole damn city and they kind of need your help.
Yeah.
The fuck you say?
It's like we just did this good regulation that will help a lot of people and curb like people getting sick or having to deal with smells of trash. And then this fucking town sets itself on fire.
It's just like, how bad is it? It's in the coal seams. Like, okay, well, how bad is that?
It's pretty bad.
It's bad.
It's bad.
The ground is on fire. What do you mean the ground is on fire? Spray water on it.
There's all fire.
It's not like that kind. It's like underground fire. He goes, can you imagine how the fuck is there underground fire?
How the fuck did you do that? So there was one guy who claimed he could put out the fire if he was paid $150. I did not get. I wanted to find the plan for this. It was just on one of the podcasts I listened to. One of the main podcasts I listened to is like a man offered this, and another man offered it for free, but he wanted to keep his fill of coal. As you might have guessed, they did not go with those two. They state of Pennsylvania filed a contract to have a group come in and put out the fire. Unfortunately,
I do it for $150 in a 6-pack.
hey man, let me get down there and get a gas mask. I got a gas mask in my garage. I'll go down there with the water hose and just hit the wall.
Yeah, hook it up to the city water, not my water. I ain't gonna pay that bill.
I ain't gonna pay that bill. The fuck, you think I'm crazy? You better give me a Pabst Blue Ribbon too. I gotta drink it like this and pull up a mask and get you.
Yeah, he just has a straw and it's going through the side of the mask. It's a beer koozie hat, hat, and I guess the worst version of the courier from Fallout New Vegas.
And he's just going through there. It's like, yep, that's a fire.
Just 2 beers.
Dude, just drinking fucking beer, putting out a goddamn fire
with a gas mask on, but probably in a Steelers shirt.
Probably. Okay, so unfortunately for them, the state of Pennsylvania put a lot of restrictions on the crew. They can only work on weekdays. They can only work 8 hours a day. And they can only work within a certain section of the mine. So
I'm going to say this. I don't think the state did that. Someone paid the state to tell them to do that because it would fuck up them still mining coal in another section.
That's potentially...
that's what my vibe is here, is that somebody paid the government.
I'm not sure how active the mines were at this point. I will say that. I know that like activity slowed down and there were still miners in the town, but...
Well, isn't it like with Centralia, they mined so much that like they started finding roots of trees when they were mining up through seams?
I mean, I think that just happened generally because a lot of, like, when you look at the Appalachian, like, mining
they follow that seam to wherever it goes.
Yeah, and the reason why, like, all those towns have fallen is because everybody in those mining towns were miners.
Yeah.
And everybody did that, and they depended on that. So those mines were drained of everything they had. Centralia wasn't, but I'm not totally sure why it wasn't. I think it might have been just like the mining, the seams weren't connected, and I don't know. I should have probably looked that up.
It's... Like, I just remember that being a story I've heard with this, that they were digging and they got like 6-7 feet from the surface throughout many places.
But yeah, they tried flooding the mines with clay and water, packing it with inert and non-flammable material, which was dangerous. Some of the other... because it's non-flammable doesn't mean it doesn't make bad things when you heat it up.
Yeah, it's like, are you saying asbestos? Did they stuff the mines full of asbestos?
No, it was some sort of husk that they did. That was like, it was some sort of husk that they put down there that when it would just give off a chemical. They tried venting the fumes, which they would have to like make a vent and then put a fence around it because people would go up to them.
What's over here in this hole? Oh, shit, I met Jesus.
It's like, let me touch this extremely hot vent.
I don't think somebody's trying to huff it.
Oh, shoot, no. Nothing seemed to work, and as time went on, the town suffered. Toxic fumes rose up. I think that's a big thing people learn about the town. Is like
there's the images of the roads cracked as if like when Kilauea in Hawaii goes over a highway.
Yeah,
the roads looking like that and cracks being in it and just smoke coming up from underneath it.
Yeah. So people in the town said they were constantly feeling ill. They were constantly lethargic. There was one woman that said, sometimes I feel like I go to bed and I don't think I'm going to wake up, which is carbon monoxide poisoning, potentially, but other things, just with burning coal. Because despite them saying that anthracite is clean, quote unquote.
It's clean compared to the other forms of coal.
Yeah. The town would receive national attention in 1981 when a young boy fell into a sinkhole created by the coal fire. He would survive, but not before being pelted by hot fumes from the fire below. So he fell in.
They got him out.
But like as he was sitting there holding, apparently it went down a lot further than
Like he literally fell into the mouth of hell.
Yeah, and he was getting hit by fumes and heat. As he was sitting there, he was able to get out, but this would be like the moment that would trigger like a greater thing. Despite the town being split at this point, half the town wanted to stay, other half was like, "Yo, y'all gotta give us something so we can evacuate. This town's falling apart."
Literally, we our butt burning.
Yeah, but there was like danger of buildings falling, danger of buildings catching fire. A gas station had to shut down because the gasoline under the ground in the tanks
was boiling.
It started heating up, and they're like, "This is going to explode. This is going to just be a big old.
This is going to be a whole problem.
This is going to be a whole problem." So they had to shut that down. In a couple of years after that incident, Congress would allocate funds for the relocation efforts, and many of the townsfolk would take the offer. By 1990, the town would only have 63 residents.
I remember the first time I ever heard about Centralia was on Discovery Channel in the 90s on like the successor to In Search Of with Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah.
Like, God, what was that? It was like before all the ghost shows and like cryptid shows really kicked off. It was just like the unexplained. You remember that one?
Yeah.
It was on there, and like that's where I remember seeing smoke rising up between cracks, and like the camera crew was like, "This is as far into the town we can legally go." And then there's some lady on her porch in a rocking chair waving at them like 3 blocks in,
smoking a cigarette. They don't have a southern accent. I don't know why.
And she just looks at you. They can take me away from this when I'm dead. This is my land.
A lot of people were like that. Like
to be fair, you own a house now. I own a house now. I get that mentality more now.
Yeah. It's like, I bought this. This is mine. I've put work into it. Fuck you.
Give me money to replace it or no.
Which would not come as a shock to you when Governor Bob Casey in 1992 would invoke eminent domain on the town and condemn every building in Centralia.
Yeah, that tracks.
And which obviously that initiates an evacuation process.
And they don't have to pay.
Well, no, they're like, the state of PA, the state of Pennsylvania is like, you have to go. This is a condemned building. And the people that are left in the town are like, I'm not going. You are offering, this is another thing, they offered like $10,000.
Oh, that's right. Eminent domain is the government makes you an offer and then you kind of have to accept
it. But they were offered like $10,000 for my $60,000 home.
Which today would be $230,000.
Yeah. But what they said is like they docked a lot of stuff off of the price because of Centralia and like all the stuff the city would be losing, and then a lot of the town folks out of the 63 were like, you know what, fuck you, we're just gonna stay. But eventually they did come to an agreement with the townsfolk. The agreement is you can stay in that house,
no one can inherit it. Like, it goes to the city. Like, once you die, that's Pennsylvania's property now.
And over the years, they would lose their post office. They would lose St. Ignatius Church, which is the first church in the town. Buildings would be torn down. I think in the 80s, Route 61, which
they adjusted it. They cut the city out the loop.
Yeah, literally, it's a 90-degree angle. Like, you're going down Highway 61, and when you're about to hit Centralia,
it turns. They got that very iconic image with like the big barricade and Do not enter.
And what was originally called Graffiti Road, which was the old Highway 61, has been buried underground. They just were like, you know what, fuck this. You're not going to be able to come here. As of the 2020 census, there are 5 residents still living in Centralia. So,
damn.
Some people are holding out. I don't think I would hold out like that long. But, you know,
to be fair, boomers survived because they ate so much lead paint, so maybe they're immune to the fumes of that place. I don't know, like, because all I can imagine, the only people I can imagine that are still living there would be folks in their 60s and 60s and up.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, and I don't think it's livable currently now, but the fire that once consumed the town, it's not out, but it's mostly moved.
It's spread.
Yeah, it's moved in the coal seams, like outward. So it's not fully in the town. So people in the town aren't going to be affected, but it's already a dead town. It's already a ghost town. No one's coming back to Centralia, especially since like 90% of the buildings are actually just destroyed.
Yeah.
The biggest fear now is like, 1, it's going to be burning for like 200 years. And 2, it's going to be affecting other cities in the area. Like there's other towns in the surrounding area. Mostly like 500 to 1,500 person towns that are eventually going to have to, you know, they're going to have to vamoose because of the fire. So, let's get into some of the things about Centralia. 1, I know you said at the beginning that it inspired a video game. That is technically not true.
Oh, it's not?
It did not. No town inspired Silent Hill.
Oh.
But the movie.
Oh, that is
Silent Hill.
Is that where we get it?
Yeah, because they were inspired by Centralia, but the game itself did not have any inspiration like that.
Way to go, Kojima.
Yeah. For once, you know.
You're not a huge Kojima fan?
Oh, I'm not a huge Konami fan. My bad. I don't know if Kojima made.
I thought Kojima did Silent Hill. I know he made Metal Gear.
He made Metal Gear and the weird game with the Guitar Man.
Also, Kojima or Konami did help make Castlevania.
Yeah. Konami has a great roster of games. They just need to stop sucking.
I think they only make pachinko games now. Really.
They've been getting back into doing, like they did the Silent Hill 2 remake, and they're doing Silent Hill 1 remake. They did Silent Hill F. And I think they have like a Castlevania thing in the works. But people in the town actually thought the fire was started intentionally. And I kind of see why, because initially the townsfolk, no one actually told the town what happened, like, with the fire. They were like, city officials were like, there was a fire.
What?
Yeah. They think that the state of PA wanted the coal, so they started the fire in order to drive people out so they could PA would buy the town and get the coal under there. The only problem with that is coal prices have gone down in years. Obviously, because it took so long, people didn't think the fire was that bad. But I think overall, the reason why I like this story is it's just an interesting bit of history that is like, you can have it, especially here in America, you don't see a lot of it. It's like you see a defined beginning and end to something. But yeah, that's the city of Centralia.
I think the other thing with Centralia that's very interesting is that it's a not real people story, if that makes sense. Like, you hear this, like, it honestly happened. It's real. It did happen. But you hear, hey, we had to abandon the entire city because it caught fire and it's still on fire now, 30 years, 40 years later.
Right.
And it's like, that doesn't sound real.
sounds so wild because it's not just like a fire that you can see. It's a fire underground.
Burning through caverns and through
Yeah.
coal. Like a kid falling into a flaming sinkhole is 100% a Hollywood moment. That
Yeah.
doesn't sound real. So I think that's one of the benefits for it, like to
Yeah.
make this a more interesting story.
But yeah, my sources are Wikipedia, obviously. Legends of America, Centralia, Pennsylvania, a lost town. PA Center for the Book. Inferno. PA Center for the Book. Inferno, the Centralia Mine Fire, and YouTube's Part-Time Explorer. Centralia, PA, America's burning ghost town. We are Backwoods Obscura. We release every Tuesday. Where I sometimes post on Facebook, but we are on TikTok as well. We do a little bit. Like I have been. It was part of my thing to try and do more on social media. I'm just so bad at just like being consistent with that. But we're also Team Bonus Action.
Team Bonus Action is a group of friends who like to play tabletop RPGs and video games and are usually associated with the charity. Right now, through the end of 2025, we are connected to Extra Life and to the Children's Medical Network of Hospitals. If you could donate to us, we'd greatly appreciate it. All funds will make it to Batson's Children's Hospital in Jackson. Our goal is $1,500. If you can pay it forward, we would greatly appreciate it to help people not have to deal with medical bills.
And with that, I hope you have a good day or night or whatever time it is over there.
Hey, Chris.
What?
Pyramid Head's coming.
God damn it, Pyramid Head, get out of here.
No.